Grab a glass of water, some tea, and sit down, maybe pencil and paper so you can write down some of the notes as you go along so you can start one of these projects right away. And this first one I think is one you'll really like. It's about room screens, and they've come back into style as a way of adding character to a room. And my guest has a brilliant idea for designing your own room screens. He's the author of New Decoupage, Durwin Rice. Hello.
Hi, Cindy.
Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Let's take a look right away at the room screen you're going to show us how to make because it is beautiful. Can you talk about it?
Yeah, this is an old French paned window that I bought at a junk shop, really, for $2. I think I paid too much, actually. People throw these things away. They're old, they're distressed, they want new, windows in their house are going to keep them warm in the winter.
Right.
These old things are valueless to most people, but they're very decorative. And if you need a decorative screen in your house, or you need an extra window in a room that doesn't have a window, gussy up one of these and...
It's a work of art. I mean, it could just hang by itself as a piece of artwork on the wall.
Sure.
Or a screen. Okay.
And it's easy to do.
Alrighty. Now show us how.
This is the blank screen that I started with. You can see it was weathered. I just knocked off some of the excess paint and cleaned it up a bit. And then started thinking about what I wanted to do with it. Now, one of the tricks of decoupage and successful decoupage is getting a really great artwork or paper to start with.
Okay.
Look at this paper. It's printed in England. It's from a museum. They've taken 12 different flowers, and there are no repeats on it. So with one sheet of $2 paper, I get 12 wonderful, great big images. Decoupage is about cutting and pasting, so you cut out your images, and you see I use a big pair of sharp scissors, and I feed the artwork into the blade. That way I get nice clean lines. The most important thing here is to cut away the background white. You don't want to see any of that. So if I cut a little bit into the flower and redesign it, make it a fraction smaller, it's not going to matter.
Well, it goes so much faster that way, too.
Yeah, it's really easy. So, cut out as many as you think you might want to use on the window, and then do your designing. So what I did in creating this pane was just to lay them out and to see what I thought looked good. That's the same thing there, so let's... and I started playing around with it. I stood it up in my studio and kept doing this until I thought I had a composition that I sort of liked. And what happened here, Cindy, was a point I think is worth making. These all fell down to the bottom pane of the glass. Just because I wasn't gluing anything on yet. Initially, I was going to put them in the center.
Right.
But then I looked at it and said, well, that tulip looks sort of nice there, laying on its side, and I can sort of arrange that like that. And I sort of like the composition of having them resting there. So I decided, well, maybe that's the way I'll do it. So I'm ready to glue.
Come brilliant works of art.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Be flexible. Don't change your mind. Don't get too locked into things.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to do this in reverse. I'm going to glue on the reverse side of the glass.
Okay.
And to do that, I use a plain old white glue, the kind that the kids use in elementary school. And I just use a lot on my hand.
The best tool ever, the hand.
And I do that for two reasons. One, I can never find my brush. And two, it's important to have this glue on your fingers because you don't want to stick to the artwork.
Oh, okay.
So I don't wash my hand. I just pick up the flower and I put it under there and then work out the air bubbles. Thank you. All you're doing here is you're not removing the glue, you're just removing those pockets of air which will dry as shiny spots if you leave them behind.
Oh, okay.
It says right on the bottle of these white glues that it dries clear, and it's true. So if you remove too much glue, you'll get a really shiny streakiness which won't be very attractive. But
Okay.
And then when you get all your air pockets removed, clean up the excess around the flowers with a damp sponge.
Do you have to get it all?
No, you don't. You just want to get the worst of it.
Okay.
It'll dry on the glass around the flower, kind of milky white. That's about all I have to do. But once that's dry, I can take some window cleaner and get it perfectly clear.
Okay, great.
Okay? So, the next thing I did was after I finished gluing all the flowers on there, I looked at this and I decided, well, I think it'd be prettier if it were a brighter color around here. So it's already distressed. All I want to do is add some green. So I took an artist acrylic paint and a brush, And because I want to control it, I'm not gonna put that on thickly there. I'm gonna dilute it quite a bit in the water, and then just quickly brush it on.
Now, we go to great pains on the show sometimes to take something new and make it look like this.
I know. So why not just get something old and cut your time in half?
If you can find it.
If you can find it. But believe me, people throw these things away. Look in your neighbor's trash. You'll find wonderful things.
When they're not looking.
And you just wipe that off.
Oh, that's beautiful
and it just
color.
stains it a nice green.
Certainly does.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I'm going to clean my hands off.
And we're moving on to the next step, but first we want to take a look and see what we've done so far. And you've added something to the back, and that's what you're going to show us how to do next.
I'm going to show you how to design the background paper for this paint. What I do is I really don't have a conceptual mind. I can't see a project from start to finish when I begin it. So I put something on, I think it looks good. I add something, I think that looks good. And now I've got all of my flowers glued on, the window's completely green, but I know I need something more. So again, choose some wonderful papers, get them in your workspace, and have some options that you can look at. And what I do...
Can you use this decoupage technique on your windows at home?
Sure.
And just leave it like this?
Sure.
You could, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could. The sunlight would shine on it and probably damage it over time. But
right.
It's such an inexpensive medium that you could always replace it after some time.
It's so pretty. Or maybe a window that doesn't get a lot of sun.
Or it might even be a nice effect if it were faded by the sun.
That's a real artist for you. Okay.
So what I do is I just look at some different background papers. That one's kind of busy, so let's look at the next one. This script is kind of nice, but it's not quite busy enough. You like that one? Or?
Yeah, I do.
And then we've got this sort of conservatory look, which is the one I chose for the finished piece. But my point is, buy papers that you love. You don't have to have them in mind for a specific project, but if you've got several papers in your studio, in your supply, in your stash, so to speak, when you get to this point, you've got some options, and you can choose the one that looks the best.
Now, where did you get these papers like this? They're beautiful. I mean, this is not wallpaper, and it's not wrapping paper.
It is. It's a wrapping paper. It's a European wrapping paper. I've shopped the gift shows in the world looking for beautiful papers because it's what I do. If your local gift shop doesn't carry these papers, call them up and ask them why not. Because they are available. They're out there. You just have to look for them and find them.
Now, how do you attach the back to it?
Well, very simple. I'll turn it over. And it's dimensional, so we're just going to glue around the edge of the screen. Just add a little bit of your glue.
I love it. You're using your hands. It's great.
Hands are great.
Well, they are. The greatest tools ever. Okay.
Okay, and then look how perfectly it fits.
Oh, how great. All right.
Stretch it down.
And then, of course, you would put two on.
Wait for it to dry. Put another one on the bottom.
Right. And there you have it.
Isn't it a nice effect, though? Because you've got the dimensional effect.
Yes.
You've got the flowers out front and the background paper behind.
It's really beautiful. We want to take a look at the one that you have finished over here one more time. It really is so nice. I'd hang it just from the wall like that, or you can use it as a screen to hide things behind.
You could.
Very nice.
You could hinge two together and make a panel.
Oh, good idea. Durwin Rice, great project.
Sticky, sorry.
We'll be together forever.
Nice
Thank
to see
you.